Buried in a year of flashy new releases, big budget titles, and of course the first real year of next-gen video game launches for the PS5 and Xbox SX, you might be forgiven for missing the delightfully low-budget, no-frills puzzler with a message that is Unpacking. A game that is about, if you haven't guessed it already, it's about unpacking.
Unpacking is no mere moving simulator with silly physics like games like Moving Out, which we really enjoyed. It's actually a bit of an understated character study told through the act of going through boxes. Following one character throughout her life story, you're responsible for unpacking everything from her original childhood home, her first dorm room, her first apartment, but without spoiling too much of the story, multiple other moves, some very important moves throughout her life. And while the gameplay and art style oozes simplicity and charm, there actually is surprising depth in the experience. The items in the game aren't simply designed to be placed in specific areas based on their size or their weight. Their placement is designed to have a very real correlation with where she is in her life at that point as well.
How she's feeling about herself and her life at the time is very much attached to her memories of each of these objects and what they represent to her at the moment in time. Her beloved little stuffed animals may go in a different place based off of the stage in her life that she's in, and objects that carry painful memories as she advances through the different heartbreaking experiences we all go through in life may determine where they can go as well as where they cannot be placed. For example, a picture representing heartbreak can go maybe into a drawer, but not on a wall.
And as I considered this game, in which all of the inanimate objects possess resonance far beyond what their appearance might entail, got me to thinking about some of the areas of our lives that tend to require some unpacking as we go through each different phase of our life. Most of us do a lot of moving in life, literally and figuratively, but the act of unpacking can not only be difficult, but painful, because there are things in there that we haven't healed from or moved on. And one of the biggest reasons for that is because there are painful and unresolved feelings attached to parts of our lives that we can't move on from. Wherever we go, they follow us. Emotional baggage that isn't going to go anywhere until we unpack it and deal with it.
What do we do in those situations in which our offender has not asked for forgiveness? It's already hard enough to forgive someone who has hurt us and apologize, but what if they haven't? What if they never do? What if they're no longer with us, and as a result, we cannot even seek absolution and restoration?
No, the feelings don't simply move on just because they did. The hurt is still real. The pain that they caused may still be present, and our spiritual life can still be impacted by the bitter root of resentment that we still carry from that experience.
As Jesus said in Mark 11:25-26, and wherever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you your trespasses. But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive your trespasses.
That says it as directly as it could. It doesn't say dial on the phone and see if they're sorry. It doesn't say to check their social media, see if they're still acting like a fool. It says if you have anything against anyone, forgive them. Kind of covers all bases. And once again, we see the same principle at work here. Our level of forgiveness from the Father runs in a direct ratio to the level of forgiveness that we extend to others. It doesn't say they apologize. They may not even be sorry. But we aren't forgiving them for their sake. We're forgiving them for our sake.
While Christ hung on that cross, he did not use his limited time and strength trying to convince everyone that even though they had made a mistake, that he would still forgive them. There's no record of Jesus chasing Pilate down and telling him, even though he signed off on his execution, that they were, still cool.
No, he didn't even go around letting everyone who killed him know that they were forgiven after his resurrection. He simply asked the Father to forgive them. This is not a call to go tracking down everyone who has ever hurt us and inform them that in our graciousness, we have chosen to forgive them. Honestly, that may go very poorly unless his Spirit has specifically led us in that direction. This is about releasing them from what they have done, not because they are apologetic, because they may never be. Not because they deserve it, because none of us do. But because the level of forgiveness that we want from our Father is absolute mercy and grace for all of our sins, we must go and do likewise.
So unpack that box today. Not for them, but for you. If we want to be like Christ, we must remember that as he innocently suffered and died for the sins of others, he had one thing to say about it. Luke 23:34. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.